Appreciate y'all checking back in with your boy. Listen, just got finished watching the latest episode of Pod Wives on the JVP Patreon exclusive. And I had a couple thoughts I wanted to share, get y'all's opinions, see if y'all rocking with some of these ideas or not. Appreciate y'all that's recently subscribed. If you rocking with your boy, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you rocking with it. But anyway, let's get to it. This episode, the first 25 minutes was a little cringy for me. The reason why I say that is because they were talking a lot about money. And I know how on the main pod and even on the Patreon episodes, like contract talks, money talks, is kind of like a narrative that they play into on the show. It's funny, it's entertaining, give us some idea about how they feel about the workplace behind the scenes. But to hear the first 15, 20, 25 minutes of the Pod Wives start off with the women talking about being compensated for being on the show, it was a little cringy for me, man. I really wasn't feeling it. I didn't like it. I don't think it was necessary, but I get it. They so successful up there with pretty much everything that they do. Everybody is talking about getting paid. Everybody want a piece of the pie. Not mad at, but I would prefer not to hear that from the Pod Wives. I would like to hear them get to, more relationship talk, which is, I feel like, the reason that they there. That's number one. Number two is Shadae. Shadae told probably one of the most entertaining stories that I've heard on the JVP in a minute. This story is up there with Mark being in the cult. It was that good. I don't know how much sauce she put on the story, but she said that she was in Miami maybe a month or two ago, if I'm not mistaken. She said that she was involved in an attempted carjacking. She said, I guess she was somewhere, pulled up to a stop sign or a light, stopped in traffic wherever she was. Dude walked up to her with a mask on, gun drawn, pointed at her head at the driver window. She said she had her window down, so she said she looked over. She got a gun to her face. I guess dude say, get out the car. She panicking, she screaming, she don't know what to do. But in the midst of her panicking, afraid for her life, she say the gunman recognizes her and says, oh shit, you what's her name from Pump It Up, dude? Man, she got saved because the carjacker was a fan of the pod. I swear to God, that shit, I feel like we should have heard this story a long time ago. But I do understand it being a traumatizing situation. Maybe that's not something she really wanted to revisit, but that shit was crazy. That was an unbelievable story. Like I said, I don't know how much sauce she put on it. Glad she okay. Glad it didn't go left like it could have. But I thought that was super interesting of a story to hear on the JVP, let alone the Pod Wives. Number three, this is probably what I was most into this episode. It was a couple situations where you could feel and see the tension in the room based on some of the subjects that they was talking about. The show was like 2.5 hours, somewhere around there. So they talked about a lot of different things. But when it got to Ian and his wife, I think her name is Jules or something like that, Julie, whatever. They talked about how uncomfortable the situation has been with her and her mother-in-law, which is Ian's mom. I guess apparently since she's been pregnant, according to Ian, it's been going on for over a year. She kind of corrected him and said, it hasn't been that long, but in the last few months, there's been some added tension between Ian's mom and her. And what I get from it is they're basically saying that, or she was saying that, no, they actually did agree that there are no boundaries that are being set. And I got some experience in this because I've been married for going on 19 years. It'll be 19 years this December. So I have a lot of experience with just relationships, being married, dating, all of that, which is why I love Pod Wives so much. It is crucial to not only establish some type of boundaries between your in-laws and your spouse, but not only establishing the boundaries, you got to make sure that those boundaries are respected between each party. I know some people think that you could just get into marriage and be like, you know what, shit, it's just us. It really don't matter what nobody else thinks, what nobody else's opinion is about how we operate within our relationship or our marriage. But that's actually not the case. When you marry a man or a woman, you do marry the entire family. I know y'all don't want to think that, but it is actually the case. So if you don't have any type of solid groundwork as far as the respect matter goes, things could go left quick. And I actually felt bad for Jules in this situation because it got to a point where I actually thought that she was going to shed some tears. I thought she was going to start crying. I'm glad she didn't. I'm glad she held it together, but it looked like she was really about to burst into tears. I don't know, man. My mother-in-law is currently in town right now. When she come into town, she stay with us for like 30 days, damn near a month. There's no way that would be possible if I didn't have a good relationship with my mother-in-law. So hopefully everything works out between Ian, his wife, and his mother-in-law. I mean, his mother. But from the way that show was going, it looks like they really in some bumpy territory. It was weird to hear that Ian is in therapy with his mom. So they got some like deep-seated, I don't know, like weird mother-son dynamic. It's maybe some codependency going on. It could be a lot of things, but I've never really heard of somebody being in therapy with their parent. I don't know. It's different for everybody. Everybody go and struggle with different things, but this was super interesting. I'm not sure if this is the last Pod Wives that we're going to see. Like I said, I enjoy it. Hopefully they continue. But if you did watch the episode, let me know what you think about that situation and that interaction between Ian and his wife and what they were talking about in reference to his mother. That shit got deep. And you can see like the faces in the room. Everybody was pretty concerned, not gonna lie. But appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Like always, man. God loves you, I do too. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm out.